After 6 straight grueling, hard, tough losses, the Chicago Bears finally come out victorious, and they do so in blowout fashion as they throttle the Houston Texans 36-7. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Bears and talking about, finally, like I mentioned, a Bears victory, a very convincing one, a statement victory in a sense, in that they blew out the Houston Texans at home 36-7. So with that being said, if you're new to the channel and you are a Bears fan, make sure to go ahead and subscribe, because I do post a ton of Bears videos, folks. Win, lose, or draw, I'm always here. I always show up, so you guys know that. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're following me on all my social media platforms, guys. Links are always down below for my Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. So with that being said, let's talk about this Bears victory. So there's a lot of places I can start, but as always, we're going to start with the offense, okay? Because the offense had their best game of the entire season by far. It's not even close. And what was it that made the offense just start on fire? It was the first play in which David Montgomery took it to the house, 80-yard touchdown run. Folks, I have been calling for the Bears to become a running football team all season long. All season I've been saying we need to become a running football team. And you know what? The thing was, people were saying, oh, the offensive line is bad. David Montgomery can't run when there's no holes, blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing, all right? That might have been the case when Nick Foles was the quarterback, because, you know, defenses didn't have to respect any sort of rushing ability that Nick Foles doesn't have. But when Mitchell Trubisky has been the quarterback, our offensive line, for the most part, has played respectable, okay? And our run game should have been a staple from the beginning. And today we saw David Montgomery, third really good game for him. Another 100-yard plus game, a touchdown as well for David Montgomery. He's running hard. And look, folks, I know I was criticizing Monty earlier in the year, but it's only because I love Monty. You know that. And all I was saying was this: Monty just needed to hit the hole harder, and he needed to be more aggressive. And you see now, when David Montgomery gets the football and takes off, there's no hesitation. He's not dancing at the line of scrimmage anymore. He is getting the ball and he's going, and you're seeing the results of it now. He's turned into an absolute beast, both rushing and receiving, folks. He can catch the football, and he's been able putting up receiving numbers. If you have him in fantasy, you've been pretty happy with him the last 3 weeks, all right? So Monty's been phenomenal, and we could easily be the Browns or the Rams right now, folks, if we had really just taken this identity of being a run-first team and going and building off of the run. But again, feels like too little too late. Oh well, let's talk about the offense with regards to the passing game, right? Mitchell Trubisky, phenomenal game today. Phenomenal. If you are criticizing Mitchell Trubisky for his performance today, you are a straight-up hater. He played flawlessly, all right? About 267 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Could have been much bigger if the Texans were even competitive in this game in the second half. The Bears basically took the air out of the football. They didn't need to throw. But Mitch did everything that was asked of him, all right? He was delivering the ball. He was going through his reads. He was not making any mistakes. And he was playing flawless football, pinpoint throws. Accuracy was there. At one point, I think he was like 9 for 9. So I loved what I saw from Mitchell Trubisky today. The one thing, if I had to say about Mitch, was when Mitch runs, I don't know what it is, but it just feels like he forgot how to run. Like, Mitch did not used to run like this. When he used to take off, like, you would just see why people say his legs are his best attributes. But now when he runs, it almost looks like he's like, oh my God, should I not? Like, I'm awkward. And then his legs start flailing. He looks like a giraffe. He looks like a baby deer. Like, it's bad, all right, when he tries to run. And I get it. He doesn't want to get hurt. He's had injuries. Cool. Just slide, Mitch. Just slide. Do what Russell Wilson does. You don't have to take hits. Just run and slide. All right, that's all I'm going to say. Is when Mitch ran, it was a little annoying, all right, that he wasn't able to pick up more yards. But with that being said, phenomenal game for Mitchell Trubisky, folks. And again, no other way around it, 3 passing touchdowns. So love seeing that. Other players on offense, what else can you say about Allen Robinson, folks? 9 catches, 123 yards, and a touchdown. He's an absolute stud. Nothing else needs to be said. A-Rob is an absolute beast, all right? Darnell Mooney, love seeing, what I saw from him today. Cole Kmet, loved getting Cole Kmet involved. Again, 4 catches, 41 yards. He has some speed for a tight end, folks. I love Cole Kmet after the catch. Like, he is hard to bring down, and he is fast, okay? So, offensively, loved the performance today. Obviously, our best performance of the entire season. There's no doubt about it. And that's just what it is, folks. So, love seeing that. But then also defensively, the defense showed up and showed out. And this was not the defense that was performing the last 2 weeks, which was awful. Today, we actually got the Bears defense that we have known to love, this entire season. Khalil Mack comes in, safety, fumble. Like, this is the Khalil Mack we know. So this is what it feels like when the offense and the defense both are clicking in the same game. This is what it feels like. I know it helps that you're playing the Houston Texans, who have an atrocious defense, but point being is, this is the domination. This is the domination that it feels like. This is why I was telling you guys, this Bears team before the season was a playoff team. This was a playoff team. And they very well could still be, they're certainly in the hunt. They could still make the playoffs. But again, losing 6 straight games, you really shot yourself in the foot there. So overall, folks, here are my takeaways, all right? Number one, this offense, there's no doubt about it now. It just runs way better with Mitchell Trubisky. If people want to say Nick Foles is a better quarterback, they can. But for this offense, it's not. It's Mitchell Trubisky by far over Nick Foles. I don't know what it is. Maybe defenses don't respect the fact that, Nick Foles can't run, and so they just blitz every time, put pressure. But this offense just runs way, 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 way better than Mitchell Trubisky, and there's no doubt that he should be the starter for the rest of the season. All right? Key takeaway number 2. Does this change anything for our 3, main figures in the Bears offense, or I should say the Bears team, in Mitch Trubisky, Matt Nagy, and Ryan Pace? Does this change anything for the 3 of them and their status with the team? I don't believe so. All right. All today did was delay it. All right. It was a good performance. You love to see it. But if they had lost to, let's say, the Texans today, I believe there would have been a chance maybe Nagy and Pace get fired. Certainly. But now that they won, and they did in convincing fashion, they're certainly not going to. And so I think it's just put a delay on it. I still think there's a higher chance that it happens. But again, it's definitely going to happen now after the season, as opposed to in season. All right. And as far as Mitchell Trubisky, folks, a lot of you guys have asked me, Faiz, is there any chance he remains the Bears starting quarterback next year? If you put a gun to my head, I would probably still say no. It's just too little too late for Mitchell Trubisky. And whether or not you blame some of that on Matt Nagy because he benched him, and certainly it's a good argument, it is for Mitch too little too late, because we still did not see consistent performances like this throughout the entire season, or whatever amount of games he played. And the fact is, for Mitch, the only opportunity I would say for him to come back next year, and that would be on a franchise tag. That wouldn't even be a long-term deal. It'd be a one-year deal, like a tag, if you will, is if we sneak into the playoffs and, Mitch has unbelievable performance in the next 3 games. Like, right, we have the Vikings, Jaguars, Packers, and then, you've got potentially the playoffs. And if Mitch balls out, maybe there's a chance here. Again, I still lean towards no. And ultimately, folks, this does not change much of the outlook, but certainly you love to see progress, because we are still watching these Bears games because of the fact that the future of the team is on there, in Darnell Mooney, in Cole Kmet, in Cody Whitehair, in James Daniel, in David Montgomery. So all those pieces, these are guys that we want moving forward. But ultimately, I don't think it changes anything for the 3 guys whose jobs are on the line. And finally, key number 3, the Bears do still have a chance to make the playoffs, but because of the fact that we lost 6 straight games, it is not just going to be in our control, I believe. It is going to be a situation where if they do end up, being in the bubble, if you will, at the very end of the season, after the season, you'll need some other teams to maybe lose out. You'll need things like that. But ultimately, all the Bears can do right now is just worry about their games and whatever they have coming up. So there you have it, folks. My thoughts on the Bears versus the Houston Texans. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.